Most people assume cheating is driven by temptation, boredom, or a lack of morals. Psychology reveals something more uncomfortable. For some people, cheating is not about wanting more connection, it is about escaping it. Avoidant partners often confuse the people who love them most. They may seem independent, calm, and emotionally steady on the surface, yet when intimacy deepens, something shifts. Distance grows. Communication fades, and sometimes betrayal appears without warning. This is happening for a reason, and by the end of this discussion, you will understand why avoidant partners cheat, what is happening in their minds, and how this pattern shows up in everyday relationships. To understand avoidant cheating, we need to understand avoidance itself. Avoidant attachment develops early in life, often in environments where emotional needs were minimized or dismissed. These individuals learned that relying on others felt unsafe or pointless. Over time, their nervous system adapted. Independence became protection. Emotional distance became survival. In adulthood, this wiring does not disappear. When an avoidant partner enters a relationship, closeness initially feels manageable. The early stages allow space, autonomy, and excitement without deep vulnerability. But as emotional intimacy grows, their nervous system begins to register threat, not comfort. This is where many people get confused. Avoidant partners do not fear love itself, they fear emotional dependence. The idea of being fully seen, needed, or emotionally relied upon can trigger anxiety they may not consciously recognize. Instead of feeling safe, they feel trapped. At a brain level, emotional closeness activates stress responses for avoidant individuals. Regions involved in threat detection become more active, while areas linked to emotional bonding may feel overwhelming. Their mind starts searching for relief, not connection, but distance. Here's the surprising part. Cheating can feel like distance, even though it looks like closeness. An affair often lacks emotional accountability. There is excitement without responsibility, desire without vulnerability, attention without obligation. For the avoidant nervous system, this feels safer than real intimacy. Ask yourself this quietly. Have you ever noticed an avoidant partner pulling away right after moments of closeness, right after deep conversations, future planning, and emotional bonding? That timing is not random. Cheating often appears when intimacy peaks, not when it fades. This goes against common assumptions. Many avoidant partners cheat not because they are unhappy, but because the relationship is becoming emotionally real. Another important factor is emotional regulation. Avoidant individuals are skilled at suppressing emotions. They may not express distress, fear, or insecurity openly. Instead, these emotions build internally. When the pressure becomes too much, they seek a release. An affair can act as emotional anesthesia. It numbs discomfort without requiring vulnerability. It provides novelty, validation, and distraction, all without addressing the deeper fear driving the behavior. Consider how this shows up in real life. An avoidant partner may work long hours, prioritize hobbies, or maintain emotional distance. When confronted, they may say everything is fine. They may genuinely believe it. Avoidance often operates below conscious awareness. Now imagine emotional demands increase. A partner wants reassurance. They want clarity. They want emotional presence. For an avoidant individual, this can feel like losing autonomy. Their system reacts not with words, but with withdrawal. Here comes the reflective question. If someone never learned how to feel safe with closeness, how would they respond when closeness becomes unavoidable? Cheating can also restore a sense of control. Avoidant partners often feel controlled by emotional expectations, even when those expectations are reasonable. An affair allows them to feel desired on their own terms. They decide when to engage. They decide when to disappear. This control feels empowering, especially when their primary relationship feels emotionally demanding. The irony is painful. The very behavior meant to protect their independence often destroys the relationship entirely. Another subtle factor is compartmentalization. Avoidant individuals are often skilled at separating emotional experiences. They can love their partner and cheat at the same time without immediate guilt. This does not mean they lack conscience. It means their emotional processing is fragmented. They may genuinely care for their partner, they may still want the relationship, but they also want relief from emotional intensity. These conflicting desires exist side by side. This leads to a surprising insight. Avoidant cheating is often followed by shame, confusion, or emotional shutdown. After the affair, many avoidant individuals withdraw even more, not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much and do not know how to handle it. You might wonder whether avoidant partners are capable of loyalty. The answer is more nuanced than yes or no. Avoidant individuals can be faithful, especially when emotional safety is present. The risk arises when intimacy grows faster than their emotional capacity to tolerate it. Think about how society frames cheating. We often view it as a moral failure or lack of love. While responsibility matters, psychology adds depth. For avoidant partners, cheating is often a maladaptive coping strategy. Here is another reflective pause. If someone learned early that closeness leads to disappointment or rejection, would they lean into intimacy or escape it? Avoidant cheating is also reinforced by short-term relief. The brain rewards novelty and validation with dopamine. For someone overwhelmed by emotional closeness, this chemical relief feels powerful. Unfortunately, it is temporary. The underlying fear remains untouched. Over time, this can become a pattern. Each time intimacy increases, avoidance follows. Each time avoidance fails, escape behaviors appear. Cheating becomes one of several ways to regulate emotional discomfort. It's important to clarify something. Avoidant attachment does not excuse betrayal. Understanding the reason is not the same as justifying the behavior. Responsibility still exists, but clarity allows healthier decisions. For partners of avoidant cheaters, confusion often turns into self-blame. They wonder what they did wrong, they replay conversations, they question their worth. The truth is painful but freeing. The behavior is rooted in the avoidant partner's internal world, not the partner's inadequacy. If you are listening and recognizing yourself in this pattern, there's another layer to consider. Avoidant individuals often avoid self-reflection. Slowing down to examine emotions can feel threatening. Growth requires tolerating discomfort without escaping it. This leads to another question worth sitting with. What happens if distance is no longer an option? What if emotional presence becomes a skill rather than a threat? Avoidant patterns can change, but not through pressure or shame. They shift through awareness, emotional regulation, and gradual exposure to vulnerability. Learning that closeness can coexist with autonomy is key. Healthy relationships do not require constant merging, they require emotional safety. For avoidant partners, safety is built slowly. It grows when boundaries are respected, communication is calm, and emotional needs are expressed without urgency or threat. For partners, understanding this dynamic helps in making informed choices. Some relationships can heal, others may not. The goal is not to fix someone, but to understand what you are dealing with. Here is a final insight. Avoidant partners cheat not because they crave excitement, but because they struggle to sit with emotional closeness. The affair is not about replacing the partner, it's about escaping intimacy. When you see cheating through this lens, the story changes. It becomes less about attraction and more about fear, less about desire and more about emotional capacity. As we close, consider how this reframes your experiences. Whether you've been hurt by avoidance or recognize avoidant tendencies in yourself, understanding brings power. It allows you to stop personalizing behavior that was never about your worth. If this perspective resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own patterns. Notice where closeness feels safe and where it feels overwhelming. Awareness is often the first step towards change. If you found clarity here, consider sharing your thoughts or experiences. Conversations rooted in understanding help others feel less alone. And if these insights help you see relationships differently, staying connected may offer more moments of clarity ahead.